This particular statement spoken by Jesus Christ, Son of God, really captures what humanity doesn't know about the heavenly systems or our Father in heaven. So when Christ said this to this woman, he said, "You people don't know what you worship. We worship what we know." So salvation is from the Jews. What that means is like, you people don't know what you worship. So we have all these different religious system in this world, and there's so many different cultures with so many different religious system, and even Buddhism is such a vast knowledge-based system, or a vast knowledge-based spiritual system. Still, we do not know what we worship, because we do not know, we do not have the layer of the heavenly system. So we do not understand, we do not have the direct layer of the heavenly system. And this is what Christ is speaking about here. We worship what we know. So salvation is from the Jews. So we worship what we know. It means the Hebrews have dealt directly with our Father in heaven. That's why Jesus Christ, Son of God, his lineage is Hebrew based, because the Jews, which are the Hebrews, they have a direct relationship and direct connection to God, and they have done a lot of work for our Father in heaven. Other cultures and other religions, we do not have that direct connection with Father, and we do not know the heavenly system. But still, that heavenly system is applicable to the entire human race, and everything that has been written in the Hebrew scriptures is applicable to every human being. Doesn't matter who you are. If you are living under the sun, if you're living under the heavens, the heavenly system applies to you. All the prophecies written by the Hebrews, it applies to you, because the Hebrews were working directly with Father. So this is very important to know. This is like a revelation on its own, because it shows that Christ is talking about the heavenly system and our Father in heaven, which humanity will be opened up to that layer. But at this stage, we do not know our Creator. We do not know our Father in heaven. We do not know the heavenly system. And all that is written in the Hebrew scriptures, even how this world works, and what the suns are, and the moon, and the planets, what the seasons are, all of that is actually written in the book of Enoch, which is another Hebrew prophet chosen by our Father, that actually went to heaven and became an angel. He did not experience death, and Enoch is coming back during the tribulation. So, as Christ here has said, you do not know who you worship, meaning we do not know who we worship, meaning we do not know a heaven exists, we do not know our Father in heaven, we do not know our Creator, we do not have the direct relationship or contact with our Creator. We know there is a God that made everything. Many people believe that. So we subconsciously know that. People just naturally know that. We do not know him the way the Hebrews know our Father in heaven. So that's why Jesus was born in the Hebrew lineage, because the Hebrews are chosen by our Father. So our Father in heaven has opened himself to the Hebrews. He has worked with the Hebrews from the beginning of time and opened himself to the Hebrews, and chosen many Hebrew prophets to give prophecy throughout time. And the Bible is a book all written by Hebrew prophets. Anything you see in the Bible, anything is coming directly from our Father in heaven. That was a Hebrew prophet chosen by our Father, and his message was given to that prophet, and that prophet wrote it down, and someone did all these different scriptures and compiled it into a Bible. And that's what your Bible is. Bible means books in Greek. So originally all the Hebrew scriptures was translated to Greek, the Greek language, and then from Greek later on it got translated to the English language. And the Hebrews would say, you cannot translate the Hebrew scriptures, because it will lose all its meaning, because the Hebrew language is very vast and very complex. It's considered a holy language, but they still tried to translate it as much as they could. So now the whole world has the Hebrew scriptures, because it was translated. So the meaning of this is, Christ is speaking of our Father in heaven, that they are fully aware of the identity of our Creator Father, that our Father has established his lineage on earth via the Hebrew cultures. Hebrews have directly worked with Father, which is all the Hebrew scriptures and all prophecies for mankind is given through the Hebrews. So that's basically all your prophecies, all the Hebrew scriptures come directly from the Hebrew people that our Father had chosen. They had written those scriptures according to how Father told them to write it. As the Great Tribulation and the pre-trib and post-trib raptures will take place for all humans on earth. The Great Tribulation is applicable for the entirety of the human race, and there will be a pre-trib and a post-trib rapture. So there's a pre-tribulation rapture, which is the work that I'm doing. And then you have the post-tribulation rapture, which is like people during the tribulation would rapture. So there are two sets of raptures. Rapture is when you complete your mission and you go to heaven, like similarly how Christ, in his first coming, he completed his mission and then went back to heaven. That's what a rapture is. So we go to heaven because there will be a 7 years of tribulation on this earth, and the people that have not awakened, do not understand the deception that this reality is, and have not had total faith in Father or have not realized emptiness, they will have to go through their learning process during the Great Tribulation. That's why they cannot be raptured before the tribulation, because they do not know all the information that we are currently learning, or I'm currently learning and giving out all this information. And I'm doing the Prajnaparamita emptiness lineage. I'm doing that, and I'm giving testimony of the Prajnaparamita emptiness virgin that humanity has to learn. The Prajnaparamita emptiness virgin, humanity has to learn that to go through the gate that is Christ. So I'm already doing that pre-tribulation because that's what it takes. Everything is in stages and everything is systematic. So I have to do it now before the tribulation, so we can have a pre-tribulation rapture and then complete our works, share our works, and then go. So then people can start doing their redemption plan or go through the tribulation or start their learning, open up to this heavenly system and know who you worship. So say if you're a Buddhist and you've been learning all your life and you do not know our Father in heaven, you do not know how the system of the sun and the moon works. There are whole like angels in heaven that run the entire planet. So there are specific angels of heaven that run specific things on this earth, and that is given in the Book of Enoch. So everything is already explained and written. It's just that the general pop, which is like the rest of the humanity, we do not know about that. Only the Hebrews know about that knowledge. They have the knowledge of the heavens. They know everything. They know the identity of Satan, the great deceiver, because the whole world has been deceived by Satan, and the whole world will go through Mark 6:6, which is the new financial technology. And this financial technology has been given revelation for in the book of Revelation. That mark of the beast technology is coming from Satan, the Antichrist, and the beast system. So the Antichrist is going to do the mark 666. So his number is 666 as it is written in the book of Revelation. We worship what we know means direct heavenly systems which humanity will be opened to when the heavens open and the trumpet blows and the judgment arrives, and it will be a totally different scene to what we have now. When the heavens open up, the trumpet blows, the rapture begins, and all of those things will transpire. But the satanic elite, which is like coming from Satan's religion, the satanic elite will try and confuse you, tell you it's a alien abduction, will tell you it's like the bad people raptured and went to heaven and all the good people are here, and they will tell you all these lies to confuse you. But rapture is coming directly from our Father in heaven. Only our Father can do that. And just an ordinary person cannot rapture and go to heaven, because they have to achieve a significant amount of purification in their physical body to leave from this samsaric dualistic reality that we live in, of this dark and light. You can't just rapture and go somewhere. You actually have to gain a significant amount of purification to exit this samsara, to step out of this samsara, or to totally come out of this dualistic samsara. To exit this samsara, you need to achieve, at least you have to achieve sunyata. You have to achieve your emptiness. To go to heaven, you have to be purified. You can't just rapture. So if they tell you it's the bad people that rapture, a rapture is a very advanced thing to experience in the human body. No one can just like use the physical body and go somewhere else. It's not possible. So the elites that are creating like spaceships and cars and planes and rockets to go to other places. But the rapture, we just use our own physical body to go to other places. We don't need rockets, and we don't need planes or cars. We don't need those external vehicles. We use our own physical body as a vehicle, and we go outside of this earth because we have achieved significant amount of purification, realized emptiness, and we can leave this earth. So it doesn't matter how good it looks on the surface for the earth population. Tribulation will be extremely dark and very evil. So maybe initially when Satan signs the peace treaty with humanity, it might seem love, light, peace, happiness, and joy and prosperity funds on the surface. And they will perform a lot of miracles. And you have to penetrate all that and see through all that and not be tricked by the miracles and all the deceptions that Satan is doing. As it says in the book of Revelation, they will give breath to an image. So that's to me is cloning. So don't fall for all of those things. It's all trickery. You have to penetrate that spiritually and understand that you shouldn't be getting the mark. So read the Hebrew scriptures, realize emptiness, let go of this world, sever your contact with this world, and then you can rapture and go to heaven. So that's what the essence of the tribulation is, to realize emptiness, so you can rapture and go to heaven. That is the post-trib rapture, or the rapture during the tribulation. So this is what I want. This is like very important for me, like this verse. It's very important for me because it's clearly stated here. You do not know who you worship. We worship who we know, which means our Father in heaven, our Creator, who the Jewish Hebrews are in direct contact with, and they know of the existence of that heavenly layer, and they're totally aware of the heavenly layer, which most of the human population that are not Hebrew or do not have the Hebrew scriptures aren't aware of that heavenly layer and are not in direct contact with our Father. And our Father hasn't chosen prophets from their midst to give out all of these prophecies that is going to transpire for humanity. So there'll be a lot of activity in the heavens, like the trumpet blowing, the skies will open, the judgment will begin, and many other things, like we go through the rapture, and all of those things are going to take place. So it'll be like a totally different world when the heavens open up to us, and we will also know who we worship. Then we will know that there is a Father, that there is a Creator, and we will get to experience our Father in heaven. So that's what, when Christ wrote that prayer or told us to pray in that way, our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's literally, it's a literal thing, our Father in heaven. So there is, our Father is in heaven, up in the sky. So that is like a directly addressing our Father. So Christ is directly addressing our Father in heaven. So it's a literal direct thing. The majority of humanity didn't know the heavens. Majority of humanity don't know the heavens. So we do not know the heavens. The Hebrew Jewish system applicable for the entirety of the human race, because everyone will be getting the financial technology, or everyone will be impacted by the new financial technology that is called the mark of the beast. 666, that's how it's known popularly in the mainstream, mark of the beast 666. But this you can read in the book of Revelation. So everyone will be impacted by this new technology, financial technology, that is about to come to humanity. But the financial technology cannot really begin unless we have the rapture. So there are many stages and systems to follow. So we have to go through the rapture first, the pre-tribulation rapture, and then we can have the tribulation season can begin. And that will last you 7 years, because everything is systematic. So Satan himself is from heaven. So the same heaven that Jesus is from, Jesus said, our Father in heaven, in his prayer. The same heaven Jesus is from, Satan's from the same heaven. So if you think, oh, Satan, like this Western system is creating all this technology, how do they know? How are they so advanced? And how do they have all this knowledge? And how can they just create all of these crazy things? It's because Satan's from heaven. Satan brought all his knowledge of heaven to this earth. And he's making like cars and planes and medicine and doing human experimentation, building spaceships, doing all the things that he does. And he built the banking system. All of that comes from our Father in heaven. It's all a system that is coming from the heavens. So Satan was before an angel, and he had all the knowledge. He was the first angel, and Father taught him, and he had incredible knowledge. So all that knowledge he has used to create all of these different systems on this earth. So even Satan knows who he worships. So when Christ said, you people do not know who you worship, we worship what we know. So Satan knows Father. So that's why Satan can create all of these different things, because he is coming directly from heaven as well. And the mark of the beast, a financial technology, is the last technology that is going to test humanity. And that will be a last spiritual test. And that test will come from Satan's financial technology, the mark of the beast, 666. So that's why you have to know the Hebrew scriptures, because these things will determine whether you go to hell or whether you go to heaven, whether you have eternal life or whether you have eternal torment, is dependent on knowing the Hebrew scriptures and knowing the prophecies for mankind that is written in the Hebrew scriptures. So we have to know that. It's not like you have a choice. Oh, I don't believe in Hebrewism. That's not a religion for me. It's not about that. Hebrewism is a direct heavenly system. Hebrewism is part of our Father in heaven, who is the creator of heaven and earth, who is the creator of every individual human being. You have to know it, because it is a direct system coming directly from heaven. Christ came directly from heaven. Satan came directly from heaven. Your banking system, your new financial system is coming directly from heaven. The cryptocurrency is coming from Satan directly from heaven. So all of these things that you have been using, all the fancy technology, all of your modern life that you have been living with your fashion and driving cars and building 10-story houses, all of that comes from Satan. That came from heaven. So that's what it means in its essence. The Hebrews are in direct contact with our Father. They know the existence of Father because they know what they worship. They know our Father in heaven. So if you do not read the Hebrew scriptures, you will have a lot of difficulty during the tribulation, or you will be easily tricked and fooled during the tribulation, because Satan's identity is revealed properly in the Hebrew scriptures, and you will not know how to identify Satan and his trickster ways properly if you do not acquaint yourself with the Hebrew scriptures, and you will fail in the tribulation. So go acquaint yourself with the Hebrew scriptures, learn all the prophecies, look at it in terms of the system of our Father in heaven, the system of heaven, the system of this earth, and that will directly impact every individual human being. This is what the Great Tribulation, the rapture, everything is directly connected to the Hebrew scriptures. And when these things starts to transpire, the Great Tribulation, when we go through the rapture, when the new financial system comes in, it's already ready. The financial system's already ready. It's already running in the background, apparently. It just has to be rolled in once we have the first set of rapture. Once we have the rapture of the church, then the financial system will just come in straight away. It's already ready to go. And it's the cryptocurrency. And then you'll have that for 7 years, the Great Tribulation for 7 years. So you'll be given that much of time. And depending on how smart you are and how much work you put in your spiritual journey, you can go through your rapture according to that. And so that's why you need to study the Hebrew scriptures in terms of like how to find the proper path and proper direction towards being successful during the Great Tribulation, and not to be tricked by Satan, to know our Father in heaven. So you want to be someone who you know what you worship. So when you're praying, you're not praying to like a random God. You're praying to our Father in heaven. So this is something I wanted to share, so that we know the premise and we know the ground of what we are dealing with. Whereas we have all these different religions and different gods and different systems, because we don't know what we worship. But the Jews are directly worshiping our Father in heaven, directly worshiping our Creator, directly working with Him, and directly have a connection to Him in terms of the chosen Hebrew lineage. And Hebrew means to cross over. So does Prajnaparamita or Pragyaparamita, means to cross over to the other shore of Nirvana. That's how the Virgin Prajnaparamita connects to the Jew, because it crosses over to heaven, which is the rapture also.